A group of us were sitting around and we were just talking about what our dream car or what our next car was going to be and just having some type of dialogue. And, some people wanted a Lexus, a Benz. We had all different kind of discussions about what kind of car would our next car be. And then I remember my brother was in the room and he said, well, this is his last car. He said, basically as he gets older, he doesn't drive as much, he doesn't do as much, he doesn't have a need to have a car. And but I started really asking a lot of people and really thinking about it because as I talk to more and more people, a lot of people are not having cars anymore. If you live in the city or in a city, the need for a car and the cost of a car, the upkeep, the insurance, you know, you don't really need a car. And I don't know if you processed and thought about it. And I did. I really thought about it because, I said, oh, I'm going to get a Lexus or I'm going to get whatever. I did. I had this thing. I'm going to get a Lexus. I want this Lexus SUV. And then serious-minded thought says to me, you know what? You may not need that. You live in the city. The bus stop from my house is 2 blocks away. The metro station, again, I'm in Washington, D.C., which may be different from you people who live in the rural area or whatever. The metro station is a quarter of a mile away. Walking path, bike path gets you right there. We have bicycles that you can rent if you don't have your own bike. We have scooters. We got electric bikes. The infrastructure here is good. Not mention Uber, Lyft, whatever other company, private transports. The infrastructure, not that it's perfect, it's not. But in here, we have a lot. Why do I need a car? Why? I don't know. And I have a friend that hasn't had a car for 10 years and his life is lovely. When he needs a car, he rents a car. You can rent a car by the hour, by the day, by the week, whatever. He rents one of those cars, gets the app, gets the car, picks the car, whatever they call zip cars, whatever they call. And his life is, as he said, 10 years, his life is wonderful. He goes wherever he wants to go, plus all the extra money he saves not having a car. Sometimes it's a fear factor. Oh my God, I don't have a car. What am I going to do? No. I have another friend that she has impaired vision, so she can't drive. It's not going to get any better. That's just what she has. She has impaired vision. She's not going to be able to drive. But she still has this car that she takes to inspection. She pays car insurance on it. It doesn't go anywhere, so it doesn't need a lot of maintenance, but still. And her rationale is, well, I have a car, so when I want to go somewhere and I want people to do something for me, we can drive my car. And I feel like I'm in control having the car. That kind of being kind of silly. Especially since the people that is taking her these places have their own cars. But she doesn't need a car. But I think it's the control. It's not giving up. It's not. Sometimes we think that by not having this, we're giving up control. I don't know. But it could be freeing. It can be relaxing. It can be. So I really want, again, this is for seniors. Well, it could be anybody. But especially, how much do you drive? And if you're in the area, you really need to start thinking about it. It doesn't mean that you're less than, that you're dependent on, or you can't be, or now that you don't have a car, oh, woe is you. It doesn't mean that. But you got to really think about it. Again, if you're in a rural area and your store is miles away, and the doctor's appointments are miles away, everything's far out, and, one of those states where you got to fly to get to school and, that may make sense for you. But if you're in a city and you have good infrastructure, why do you need a car? Just want to throw it out there because, again, a car is a lot of responsibility. I know safety mechanisms. I feel safe riding in my car as opposed to taking mass transit or having an Uber or Lyft or whatever. I don't know. I just been toying with this idea as much as I would like to see myself in this, and again, luxury vehicle, Lexus may not be luxury for you, but it is for me. As much as I see myself in that, when you're at the stage where you could afford it, maybe it looks a little different. And I'm thinking, Arlene, where do you want to go? What's your next step? If you didn't have a car and you didn't pay car insurance, you have more money for trips. Not saying you should have a car note. And if you have a car note, that's a whole nother issue. That's another discussion. And you got to say why. But if you're at a point where you're saying why, what do you want for your life? How do you want your life? What is the quality of your life? No. I throw it out there. Do you need a car? Should you have a car? And how can you live without a car? I mean, most of the time, a lot of times, as seniors, it's maybe just one of you, two of you, not a whole lot. You're not bringing home a pile of groceries. And then, again, they can deliver the groceries. They can bring them to your house. There's so many possibilities. I'm currently sharing a car. My daughter's car, well, it got stolen, whatever. Anyhow, and I don't miss not using my car. I take it and drive it occasionally here and there, but I take the subway, and I'm thinking, the more, I get great exercise. My legs are strong. I'm walking, and that also makes a difference if you're able to ambulate relatively easy, and that also makes a difference. If you need that and you can't walk long distances, like we were in Philadelphia last week, and where we were going was not very far. And I remember I said to one of the ladies, hey, come on, let's walk. And she said, I really can't walk more than 2 blocks. I got to take an Uber or a Lyft to get me going. But that's an option. To me, when I realized where we were versus where we're going, I would have walked it. If it was a flat street, we could have easily, with no hills or whatever. But you got to figure it out. And I think this is the time to figure it out. How do you want your life to be? And a car may not be something that's moving forward as you think about it. As you break down your life, as you get smaller, you think about what's important. You think about how the quality of your life, some people got very expensive cars and, they got, whatever. But you think about it. And I just wonder, though, do you need a car? Again, not want, do you need it? And if you didn't need it, what can you do with the money that you save by not having a car? How much does it cost for you with mass transit? How much does it cost for you for Uber and Lyft? What do you actually think about? And I think a lot of people don't think about it. They just think the need to have it. I know a lot of people downsized that, as they retired and they weren't going to work and they had two cars, they sold one and worked on one, and they decided to use their money differently. I'm not necessarily saying or thinking that. I'm just saying, do you need a car? And how can you do your life if you didn't have a car? How can you function? And have you thought about it? I like to throw things out sometimes just to make people think outside the box. But how can you? And again, I know it's not for everybody. And again, I have a sister that from one job to another job. Yes, she's retired, but she still works per diem. Everything is far away. She's busy in the garden club. She's busy going to work in different cities. And no, she probably needs a car, because if she had to pay for Uber and Lyft to take her from the garden club and to go to these jobs at the hospital, no, it probably wouldn't work for her. It probably won't. But if you live in the same city, and as I belong to the senior group, and we all met, and we were talking about just different lifestyles. One lady said she doesn't have a car; she rides her bike. Now, granted, she got it that way. She's probably been riding a bike for a long time, but I don't know. I want us to start thinking differently. I want us to think about enhancing the quality of our life. I want us to just to be able to, we don't have to be like everybody else. We need to live our best life now. We want to be healthy and wealthy. And sometimes healthy, some of y'all now, for real, you need to get out there and walk more. And if you didn't have a car, you would walk more, do more, be more physical. I don't know. Not throwing it out there. But I'm just saying, and I'm going to say it again, do you need a car? And I have convinced myself I don't need a car. I have a car. I like having a car. I like my car. But if I don't have a car, if something happens to my car, would I buy another one? I don't know. At this point right now, as of today, I would say no, I wouldn't buy another car. I wouldn't have to worry about parking. I wouldn't have to worry about somebody breaking into my car. I wouldn't have to worry about somebody stealing my car. I won't have to worry about insurance for my car. I wouldn't have to worry about maintenance for my car. Taking it through inspection, getting it registered. If you're in tax states that you tax on cars like Virginia and Connecticut, where it is considered personal property, I wouldn't have to pay that. I don't know. I'm not. I think that I wouldn't have a car, but I'll probably be in better shape. I'll probably continue walking. I'll probably do a lot of Uber and Lyft. I may hire a private driver. Like this one lady in New York, it was cheaper for her to hire a private driver to pick her and take her back and forth to work than it was to have a car. Something to think about, especially if you're paying for parking for your vehicle. You got to pay additional parking. It's something to think about. Throwing it out there. And again, do you need a car? Please like and subscribe. Just throwing it out. Want to get some information. I love your questions that I'm getting from you. Keep the questions going. I just want us to be healthy and wealthy.